Hello, welcome to the Mad Batter channel. My name's Chris. In this video I'm going to look at 4 ways to rescue an underexposed image in Luminar 4, or an image with very high contrast which has been exposed for the highlights, leaving the rest of the image severely underexposed. This is what we have here in this image, taken in the small New Zealand South Island town of Waimate, shown here on the map of New Zealand. So here we are in Luminar 4 with the image open in the Edit tab. Now of course it's actually very simple to produce a better exposed image with one click using looks. For instance, if I open the looks panel and then go to something like image enhancer, that produces a better image, and another one is warm sunset, gives a better balanced image. But I don't want to do that. I want to do manual edits to show the methods involved. And the first method is actually very simple, just using the AI accent tool. So if we move this up to about 85, that gives a much improved image, as you can see, before, after. It really is that simple, and just shows what a fantastic tool the AI Enhance slider is. The second method is to use the light tool. So if we open the light tool, we'll increase exposure by about 0.75, take down the highlights, because that's in the sky, obviously we don't want to overblow those. So we take that to -83. We want to bring up the shadows, so we'll bring that to about 60, and then add a little bit of smart contrast. And there we are, again a much improved image. The third method involves using layers, an image layer set to screen blending mode and an adjustment layer. This is where Luminar 4 is much more flexible than Luminar AI, which doesn't have a formal layer functionality, although there are ways around that, as I'll show in another video. With the recent announcement of Luminar Neo, which is stated to have full layer functionality, maybe this method will become easier again. So what we're going to do is go to the Layers tool and add a new image layer and select the original image. Reduce the opacity to 50% and set the screen mode, blend mode to screen. So as you can see, that brightens the whole image. We don't really want the sky brightened. So we're now going to add a mask, a luminosity mask. Now what a luminosity mask does in its standard form is to apply the effect mainly to the bright parts of the sky, which is the inverse of what we want. We only want to apply it to the dark bits. So we can go into the mask tool and invert the mask. So that much reduces the effect on the sky, but retains the effect on the foreground. However, we've still got more work to do here, but first of all we want to add some AI Enhance to this, and we'll apply a figure of about 80. So that's beginning to look better, but we still need to do something about the sky. So we go back to the layer, add an adjustment layer this time, and then we'll go into the light tool, and we'll reduce the exposure by about 2/3 a stop. Add a bit of smart contrast, 56, and and reduce highlights by 57. And of course that has the effect of not darkening the sky but making the foreground dark again. So again we need to add a luminosity mask, but this time we don't invert it because we want the effect to apply to the sky. So as you can see with that, it's mainly the sky effects. So that's the third technique. The fourth method to adjust the image is using the advanced contrast tools, which are in the Pro tab. So we are in advanced contrast. So what we need to do now is highlights, we'll move up to +40 and balance to -22. Midtones +53. You get these figures by just playing with the tools. And balance of +13. And then shadows +100 and balance -50. Now unfortunately, as you can see, it's sort of rather ruined the contrast in the sky, and we really want to apply this just to the foreground. So again, we'll apply a luminosity mask, but of course that's applying the effect to the bright parts of the image, which is not what we want. So we'll go into the mask tool up here and invert the mask. So as you can see, it brings back some contrast in the sky but still lightens the foreground. And then one final step, we'll add some AI enhance at about 45. So there's the fourth way of adjusting the sky. This is probably the brightest of the three, although you could adjust the others with slightly different settings to the ones I've used. So here are the four images. The first one, which is the accent AI. The second one, which is the light tool. The third one, which is the duplicate screen blend mode option. And finally, the fourth one is the advanced contrast. In my view, this is not such a good version, because you can see if you look at the side of the building, you lose all the sort of features on the wall. It all gets rather smeared out. Personally, I think the second one, which is the light tool, is probably the best. The accent AI is a bit more HDR-ish. Anyway, feel free to choose whichever one you prefer or whichever method you prefer. At the top of the screen, I'll put a link to the other video I've done using these four same techniques, but in Luminar AI instead, so you can compare how the two programs function. However, the recent announcement of Luminar Neo rather moves the goalpost if that includes all the AI tools plus the layer functionality which is in Luminar 4. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching.